Hey, everybody, again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hans The Storyteller Nordsiek here. September 1st, 2020. I am recording from Bergijk, my hometown in the Netherlands. And I have a whole different story about mankind for you. And I want to convey that a story, if it's going to be successful, yes, because if you try to do something, it is always successful. You could do an experiment and then the end result of the experiment is says, don't do it ever again. It's very successful. We found out how to not do things. We are all looking at the status of the world, and inside, somewhere inside us, we feel this urge that something very basically is very wrong in the way how we treat each other in the world and how we treat the world. And we're trying with all kind of measures and things to change. Let's give us more rules. Let's give us more regulations. Let's put the government in control. Let's give it to the economy. Let's change the political system. Let's give to the medical world. Let's have more medicines. Let's have this. We try all kind of things. Let's have more investment. Let's have Forex. Let's have investment in all types of monies. Here we find the key towards opening the doors of heaven. And all the time we fail. Because already for a long time we don't feel happy. We get sort of like a plastic happiness. What is basically wrong in my view? And that is my absolute opinion about it. And again, it's my opinion. And already we're starting to scratch the surface where I want to talk about. Because I can only see the things in the world, what's happening with my eyes, my nose, my ears and my feelings. So I only can have my view on the world. Is it egoistic, egocentric? Yes and no. Because I don't have your eyes and ears. And if there's one thing that the world needs from all of us, that is our own pure, authentic fuel and view on the world and how we manifest ourselves. And there's already the essence of what I am wanting to talk about. Because at this point it goes wrong. You have eyes, you have ears, you have hands to control, to manipulate the world and do your things. And the essence is from which origin, why do you do the things? And we were given the manifestation, the motivation of manifesting ourselves, and that's a plastic one. We need to go back to something else. We do our things and now it's all in good purposes. And here I'm going to share you my vision, which I learned from the old ancient cultures in the world. Because we think that in 2020 we are like the top of manifestation. We are like the top of the universe. There's nothing more than we can know and we can understand than we. We are the top of the natural impulses, and there has never been, that's what you think, a civilization that was more developed than ours. And here it goes wrong, because there were many civilizations that are far more developed than our civilization. And we think out of some sort of, I don't know what, we think we are in the top of the pyramid, we are God, and we have forgotten that we are part of God. And you know, the word God is always very challenging to mention the word God, because we all have a thinking about it, and it's all sort of politicalized this word. So, and I hope you understand, we think we are the top of everything, and we forgot that we are part of the top of everything. And the old cultures already knew that. Because the old ancient cultures, and I give you examples like the Egyptian, like the Maya, like the Inca, and there were many others. And they knew that you can only have, and here's the magical word, harmony. Harmony means you are congruent with everything that is around you. I give you an example. Now there is a virus in the world and it's always almost stopping our world. And we see the virus as our big enemy. And then things go wrong. Because the whole universe, everything on this world, in this universe, everything is meant to live and to survive and to prosper and grow. And if we start to see things that outside us are our enemies, like bacteria, like virus, and you name it, what we see as enemy, or we have to fight them with a lot of medicines, then things go very wrong. You can only survive and prosper and grow as mankind if you know how to be in harmony with everything that is around you, and it includes every bacteria, and it includes all the viruses, including the one that's controlling and killing the world now. We see it as an enemy, and we have to see it as part of the universe. How can we make it into harmony? How can we find a harmonic way of living with that? Because we can fight one enemy, and then I talked with medical people, experts, professionals. They said, well, next year, in a few months, there will be another enemy, another bacteria, another virus, etc., etc. I don't want only to concentrate on the virus thing, what we talk about here. It's general thinking, the general feeling, the general purpose of life, the growth, the sinus of life. Where do we go? The old the old ancient cultures knew how to live in harmony with everything around them. And harmony doesn't mean without conflicts. It means there are conflicts, and the conflicts don't grow to a point that will make an atomic war about it, a nuclear war about it. Conflicts are just part of mankind, part of nature. Sometimes you agree, sometimes you don't agree. And in harmony, you will find naturally, harmonically, a way to adapt to the conflicts that you as a man or a woman, as a person or as a group, as a family, as a village, as a country, as a nation, you will feel that. We all know we have summer, we have winter, autumn, spring. These are the 4 seasons. And we can guarantee, we can say, all right, in the winter it's going to be cold. I can predict that. When will it be cold? Well, at days it will be colder. And we know very sure it's going to be cold. Next summer we know there will be hot days. And we think the future is like a sort of obscure grey thing, and we have to, like economical people, we have to make planning for the future. And the ancient cultures knew something. Now we have 4 seasons, 365 days with 4 seasons in it. And you know, the 4 seasons are not that important. It's more where the seasons meet. It's called the equinox, where the day and night are the same. Or the solstice. We'll talk about it the next time. Those are more important than the seasons. They knew that, given the thinking about, we're in an annual season going to 4 seasons. And they knew, and we forgot about that, there is also a huge season where we are in as the earth, as the world. And the season goes over thousands of years. You could say through summers and winters, through hardship and great times, to good times and positive times, to knowing what you do and don't know what you do. It's a constant cycle. And these cycles go over thousands and thousands of years. Imagine that you know what I just said, and you know in which part of the season you are. If you're not aware of our 4 seasons in the world, and suddenly it starts to be cold, oh, you think there's a climate change, there's something going wrong. No, we know it's cold because it's December. Oh, suddenly it's hot. We don't know, if you know nothing about seasons in the world, oh, it's hot days, something wrong. No, it's summer, it's just supposed to be hot, in the summer. And the same is applicable to these huge seasons that goes over thousands of years. Like a good friend of me said, if a woman doesn't know that she's pregnant, she thinks she's sick. Now, if a woman doesn't know that she's having a baby, she isn't aware of it. She doesn't know. She says, oh my God, I'm sick. Look at me, was something happening, I'm sick. And now that happens in the world as well. We have no idea what's happening and we think things are going wrong. And in the huge seasons, we call it the great years, Annus Magnus, the great seasons, it's perfectly fine what's happening now. If you realize that you are now in a time of uncertainty, you don't know what's going on. And that's okay, because it could be predicted already thousands of years ago. Because like we can predict next year's summer it will be hot, in the winter it will be cold. You could predict when you are aware of things or you are unaware of things. Now this goes over a lot of aspects, or the total aspect of our life that we know. I say or aware or not aware, going high, going low, having conflict, having no conflict. It's a duality of life, they call it. So this is as normal as can be. So that's why I'm doing here, talking to you, to say that what is happening now, don't be afraid, it's fine. This could already be predicted thousands of years ago by the ancient Egyptians. In 2020 you will be in a big period of tens of years that you are stupid, unaware of what's going on. The woman doesn't know that she's pregnant, she thinks there's something wrong. So what is happening now in the world is in the long run already predictable. It's like a sign is going up and going down and going up and going down. And there was another thing that is, and this message, this message is inside the ancient cultures, and they left us a lot of artifacts, from small things up to pyramids with 2 million stones in it. The story of this is inside that what they left for us to discover. And this is the big secret. This is one of the big secrets, one of the golden keys to understanding life. That you see that you are flowing with times, in all those hundreds of thousands of years. And if you're here, it can be predictable. There will be a general feeling for mankind like this. And if you're here, there will be a general feeling for mankind like this. So it's all about awareness. I have a goat, we have a goat here in the garden. And now it's going to be some months, some weeks, it's going to be colder and colder and colder. And the goat has no idea, and we see already there her fur, her hairs grow. And she is not aware of it, she doesn't even care. So nature is taking care of this. The animals are in fact in perfect harmony. They don't, to the extent they don't even need to know what's happening, it's just happening to them. And all mankind, we are gifted by God, or how you call it, by awareness. So we can think and feel, we can be aware of what's going on. So, and then the last thing I want to tell you in this story, that we can reinvent how to connect with these big cycles. And I want to talk to you this again next time, because it is, in my view, and you may think about it differently, and that's also, it's fine. Two stones together, there's no conflict. We can have different opinions. We don't need to have the same opinion. In fact, that's not needed. It should not be. We should not have the same opinion. We should have different opinions, like trees and all plants and stones. We're all different. That's fine. Being different is fine. Being very different is fine. There's no need to agree on these things. You can live together, the same thing. As long as you are in the cycle of harmony that I talked about. And the ancient cultures also tell us, well, if you have, and that's the big message for today, and then you can go back to your life or what you want to do today. If you have lost the connection with the big cycles that we talked about, we guarantee that you can reconnect, because you are given another unique quality, of each person has been given one unique quality. That's the quality of imagination, of fantasy, of creativity, of making something out of nothing. And many times, I tell the story about biplanes, about Stearman biplanes. They were made in the 1940s. And I tell the story, where does the fuel come from, or the oil come from? Oil fuel, it comes from the ground. And the wood of the wings, it comes from the ground. And the steel tubing, it comes from the ground. And if you think about it, the whole airplane at one time was inside the ground. And that's not that long ago. That's not millions of years ago. That may be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 years ago. The whole airplane was in the ground. And humans like you and me, we are able, with our thinking, our vision, how we are made by our hands, to make an airplane out of the ground. So that's also the big lesson from the ancient cultures. We have the quality of creating something out of nothing. Something out of nothing. An airplane out of nothing. We can manipulate things with our hands and our feet and everything. We have made the machines in order to make an airplane, in order to make everything. So if you have forgotten to connect, you can reconnect. You can reinvent. And you can remember. Think about the word remember. Oh, what that was long time ago. I remember about that. Yes, there's a second explanation of what the words remember mean. Remember, oh yes, that was in the time of the Incas that we knew how to do these things, or in the time of the ancient Egyptian culture that we knew. Remember. I'm a member. I want to remember being a member again with how life is supposed to be. So, your takeaway for now, today, your giveaway from me is, and I'll come back in some days or a week, remember. What do you remember? And how do you want to remember? Do you want to be a member of your family, of your group, of your village or your city, of the universe, of the whole thing here? We want to be a member again. We are not solo things, we are a member. So now, in my view, 2020, it's a huge challenge to remember, to connect, to be a member again. And in the 3 things next year, in 2021, when we do the Boeing Stearman Homecoming Tour, these are the things we want to give to the kids, because this is very important. In my view, this is in the 3 things that are important. This is number 1, that we know we need to remember with things how things are. So, Wings of Inspiration. We started to make a 501c3 organization in the United States. For a lot of reasons, I'll come back to that later. A 501c3 organization. It's called Wings of Inspiration. And when we talk about this, we're going to give this message to the kids, because they need to know. They need to know, and you need to know. And we need to spread this message. It's as complicated and as simple as you want it to be. And we use airplanes, and we can use anything. Wings of Inspiration. We give ourselves airplane wings, and we need to give our people, ourselves also wings, and we want to give the kids wings that they can achieve and do whatever they want, as long as we start to see that we need to reconnect and remember. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember for the rest of your day that we need to remember. Talk to you next time. I'll be back. Hans the Storyteller Nordsiek. Period.